until now is about the belief, the people who believe in their ability and believe that they can succeed, they will succeed. Okay. And there is a distinction between the wishful thinking and belief, which we went through that. And the difference is when you believe in something, then you take action, so you think about how you will accomplish those things. And when you don't believe in something, sorry, when you wish things for yourself, then that leads to a wishful thinking. That means this just a fantasy, it's not something you are actively you want, or you are looking to find out ways to accomplish that. So let's move on now. Actually, in these modern times, belief is doing much bigger things than moving mountains. The most essential element, in fact, the essential element in our space exploration today, is the belief that uh, today is that the space can be mastered. Without firm, unwavering belief that man can travel in space, our scientists would not have the courage, interest, and enthusiasm to proceed. Belief that cancer can be cured will ultimately produce cures for cancer. Currently, there is some talk of building a tunnel under the English Channel to connect England with the continent. Now, guys, this book, as we discussed, was written in 1959. So it talks about the English Channel that believe that England with the rest of the Europe will be one day connected. That belief it's already happened. So it's all connected now, underground tunnel, as you know already there. So that means what belief could do. Okay. So that's very powerful. Okay. Under the English Channel to connect England with the continent. Whether this tunnel is ever built depends on whether responsible people believe it can be built. Very profound. Belief in great results. Belief in great results is driving force, the power behind all great books, plays, scientific discoveries. They are all the belief, so that means talks about belief in great results is the driving force, the power behind all great books, plays, scientific discoveries. Belief in success is behind every successful business, church, or political organization. Belief in success is the one basic, absolutely essential ingredient of successful people. Believe, really believe you can succeed and you will. Over the years, I have talked with many people who have failed in business ventures and in various careers. I have heard a lot of reasons and excuses for failure. Something especially significant unfolds as a conversation with failures develop. In a casual sort of way, the failure drops a remark like, to tell the truth, I didn't think it would work, or I had my misgivings before I even started out, or actually, I wasn't too surprised that it didn't work out. The okay, I will give it a try, but I don't think it will work attitude produces failure. Okay. Disbelief is negative power. When the mind disbelieves or doubts, the mind attracts reasons, or we can call it the excuses, to support the disbelief. Doubt, disbelief, the subconscious will fail. The not really wanting to succeed is responsible for most failures. Think doubt and fail. Think victory and succeed. A young uh, fiction writer talked with me recently about her writing ambition. The name of one of the top writers in her field came up, and going to the next page. Oh, she said, Mr. X is a wonderful writer, but of course, I can't be nearly as successful as he is. Her attitude disappointed me very much because I know the writer mentioned. He is not super intelligent, not super perceptive, nor super anything else except super confident. And that's super powerful, isn't it? He believes he is among the best, and so he acts and performs the best. It is well to respect the leader, learn from him, observe him, study him, but don't worship him. Believe you can surpass, believe you can go beyond. Those who harbor the second best attitude are invariably second best doers. Okay, so that's a very important point here, that you take role models. Okay, the author says that that's absolutely fine, who inspires you, who they show you the way, where to go, how to go. But the author says, you know but have that belief that one day you can also surpass him, or you can go beyond that person as well. So, and the author says those who harbor the second best attitude are invariably second best doers. Look at this way: belief is the thermostat that regulates what we accomplish in life. That's super powerful. So, how much you believe depends, your results depends on how much you believe in. It's a thermostat directly, it's linked. Study the fellow who is shuffling down there in mediocrity. He believes he is worth little, so he receives little. He believes he can't do big things, and he doesn't. He believes he is unimportant, so everything he does has an unimportant mark. At times goes by, lack of belief in himself shows through in the way the fellow talks, walks, etc. Unless he readjusts his thermostat forward, he shrinks, grows smaller and smaller in his own estimation. And since others see in us what we see in ourselves, that's very powerful, guys. And since others see in us what we see in ourselves, he grows smaller in the estimation of the people around him. Okay. So that means if you believe that you can succeed, you are confident, you just radiate that, that energy, radiate that belief around you, and everyone else believes just like you do. So you are the reflection of yourself. So now look across the way at the person who is advancing forward. He believes he is worth much, and he receives much. He believes he can handle big, difficult assignments, and he does. Everything he does, the way he handles himself with people, his character, his thoughts, his viewpoints, all says, here is a professional. He is an important person. So that means the way you carry yourself, that's super powerful. And then also it says that taking someone as your role model. Okay, so that means do not worship. So that means I do see in my life as well. I admire a lot of people as role model. Okay, for example, who wouldn't? For example, Elon Musk. Okay, I just get fascinated. But That doesn't mean that you worship him. Okay, you get inspiration from him, you learn from him, you get all kind of you learn every bit of his um, uh, the learnings what he had or the way he learned things. It's not an easy feat for people like Elon Musk to accomplish what he has accomplished in so many aspects of life. But that should inspire you, but not give you a belief that you can't be like him or you can't go beyond him. Okay. A person is a product of his own thoughts. Believe, believe big. Adjust your thermostat forward. Launch your success offensive with honest, sincere belief that you can succeed. Believe big and grow big. Several years ago, after addressing a group of businessmen in Detroit, I talked with one of the gentlemen who approached me, introduced himself, and said, I really enjoyed your talk. Can you spare a few minutes? I would like very much to discuss a personal experience with you. In a few minutes, we were comfortably seated in a coffee shop waiting for some refreshments. Okay. I have a personal experience, he began, that ties in perfectly with what you said this evening about making your mind work for you instead of letting it work against you. I have never explained to anyone how I lifted myself out of the world of a mediocrity, but I would like to tell you about it, and I would like to hear it, I said. Well, just 5 years ago, I was plodding along, just another guy working in the tool and die trade. I made a decent living by average standards, but it was far from ideal. Our home was much too small, and there was no money for those many things he wanted or we wanted. My wife, bless her, didn't complain much, but it was written all over her that she was more resigned to her fate than she was happy. Inside I inside I grew more and more dissatisfied. When I let myself see how I was failing in my good wife and two children, I really hurt myself. But today things are really different. My friend continued. Today we have a beautiful new home on a 2-acre lot and a year round cabin a couple of 100 miles north of here. There is no more worry about whether we can send the kids to a good college, and my wife no longer has to feel guilty every time she spends money for some new clothes. Next summer, the whole family is flying to Europe to spend a month's holiday. We are really living. How did it all happen? I asked. It all happened, he continued, when, to use the phrase you used tonight, I harnessed the power of belief. Okay, that's super powerful. Power of belief. 5 years ago, I learned about a job with a tool and die company here in Detroit. We were living in Cleveland at that time. I decided to look into it, hoping I could make a little more money. I got here early on, early on Sunday evening, but the interview was not until Monday. After dinner, I sat down in my hotel room, and for some reason, I got really disgusted with with myself. Why? I asked myself, am I just a middle class failure? Why am I trying to get a job that represents such a small step forward? I don't know to this day what prompted me to do it, but I took a sheet of hotel stationery and wrote down the names of 5 people I have known well for several years, who had far surpassed me in earning power and job responsibility. Two were former neighbors who had moved away to fine subdivisions. Two others were fellows I had worked for, and the third was a brother in law. Next, again, I don't know what made me to do this. I asked myself, what do my five friends have that I do not have? Besides better jobs. I compared myself with them on intelligence, but I honestly couldn't see that they excelled in the brains department. Nor could I truthfully say they had they had me beat on education, integrity, and personal habits. Finally, I got down to another success quality one bears quality one hears a lot about: initiative. Here I hated to admit it, but I had to. On this point, my record showed I was far below that of my successful friends. So that means he lacked the initiative. He didn't lack the intelligence, okay? He didn't lack the education or what it requires, okay? But sometimes we hide behind IQ as well, okay? A lot of people have that excusitis, or the excuse that, okay, I'm not as smart as that person. So here he says that he compares himself with others, and then he can't find anything great with other people, okay, or great intelligence. It was now about 3 a.m., but my mind was astonishingly clear. I was seeing my weak point for the first time. I discovered that I had held back. I had always carried a little stick. I dug into myself deeper and deeper and found the reason I lacked initiative. I found the reason I lacked initiative was because I did not believe inside that I was worth very much. Okay, so that is powerful again, this is the belief. I sat there the rest of the night just reviewing how lack of faith in myself had dominated me ever since I could remember. Lack of faith, lack of belief. How I had used my mind to work against myself. I found I had been preaching to myself why I couldn't get ahead instead of why I could. I had been selling myself short. I found this streak of self deprecation, depreciation showed through in everything I did. Then it dawned on me that no one else was going to believe in me until I believe in myself. Right then, I decided I am through feeling second class. From here on, I am not going to sell myself short. Next morning, I still had that confidence. During the job interview, I gave my newfound confidence its first test. Before coming for interview, I had hoped I would have courage to ask for $750 or maybe even $1,000 more than my present job was paying. But now, after realizing I was a valuable man, I upped it to $3,500. And I got it. I sold myself because after that one long night of self analysis, I found things in myself that made me a lot more sellable. Within 2 years after I took that job, I had established a reputation as the fellow who can get business. Then we went into a recession. This made me still more valuable because I was one of the best business getters in the industry. The company was recognized and I was given a substantial amount of stock plus a lot more pay. Believe in yourself and good things do start happening. Your mind is a thought factory. It's a busy factory producing countless thoughts in one day. production in your thought factory is under the charge of two foremen, one of whom we will call Mr. Tramp and the other Mr. Defeat. Mr. Tramp is in charge of manufacturing positive thoughts. He specializes in producing reasons why you can, why you are qualified, why you will. The other foreman, Mr. Defeat, produces negative, deprecating thoughts. He is your expert in developing reasons why you can't, why you are weak, why you are inadequate. His specialty is the why you will fail chain of thoughts. Okay, guys, we'll conclude here, but it's a very powerful, thought provoking book, The Magic of Thinking Big, and the reflection, as we discussed earlier as well. If you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't. That's what even Henry Ford said as well. So the mind, we have two factories, or two foremen in the factory, or mind factory, or thought producing factory. One is a triumph, one who thinks that you can succeed, you are worth more, and the other one is the failure, thought producing person who always doubts and produces all the results, all the thoughts which make you um, think that you are not worth it. Okay, so self deprecating thoughts. All right, so with that